Anyways, let's do some shooting. Oh, beautiful. Press that button. Does it work? It should do. Good evening all, or good afternoon to my American viewers, who I can see in chat. Good evening, Stephanie. Not a problem at all, Stephanie. We are all busy at times. Don't worry about it. There will be another one in April. So, all right. All good. Good afternoon, Aussie. Yes, you missed it as well. Not to worry. It was very cozy. There was just the three of us. Very nice. Good to catch up with everybody. Evening, Tomek. Good to see you as well. Chat is full of Patreon people already. And Kazi, just to round it off. Lots and lots of my very, very pleasant Patreon supporters. The wonderful people that you are. Got the door, yes. So, good evening, Ed. Hope you're well. Right then, so tonight, I don't know whether you were on in time to see the little new intro, not the intro in bit, but the bit as the countdown was coming down. I had a little idea which I stole from somebody else, so I thought I'd give that a go. Try to do it with a phone, and it managed to work for about 2 minutes. Then it stopped. So whether we use that again in the future, Lord only knows. So while we are on here, I'm just going to shut that down so I can see. You saw it, Stephanie. Fantastic. That's great. And obviously we now have the new outside. The new layout for the just chatting bit at the start, so we can read everybody's wonderful chat in the left-hand side. Wonderful chat, that is, until Suzanne maybe turns up. You never know. Anyways, all full of good ideas, and then they didn't ring. It half works, half doesn't. Hi, Aileen. Good to see you. All good here. Thank you. Hopefully you are as well. Right, Facebook. I'm going to put it on there as well. Shush phone. Okay. Right. I've just seen a picture from Alan, and it looks like he cloned a bit of debris out of it. The sneaky little get that he is. Right. What was I doing? Facebook. Onto my page. Put the link in. Hopefully get 1 or 2 more people in. You never know. Press that, does that? No, it doesn't do that. Okay. Evening, Diane. Hope you're well. And whilst I'm mentioning Facebook, actually, this week I was absolutely flabbergasted to find out that I now have 700 people following my Facebook page. That Facebook page that barely gets any attention. So, which is always amusing to me, because I basically gave up on Facebook ages ago, and I just put in the odd thing now and again, and here we are, 700 followers. All very good. Good evening, Alan. I was just talking about you. I've just seen a picture of yours on Facebook, and I'm sure there is a patch of sand in that Ripley sand shot. I'm sure you've cloned something out of there, because I'm sure there was a hole in there in my version of the shot. Right. On Facebook. I'm not live on Facebook, I'm live on YouTube. Damn brain. Right, post that. Post, sorry about this, everybody. Taking a while to get That did post, didn't it? Yes, it did. Grand. Right. We'll shut up and move on now, then, Andy. Close that down, and hopefully Photoshop's loaded, Lightroom's loaded. Yay! Must be mistake. Are you sure? Oh, no, let's just have a quick shufty at my. Because when I'm the, let me have a look at this, right? Let us put this on screen. I'm not shaming you, Alan, because cloning stuff, imperfections out is not a problem at all. I thoroughly recommend it. Right, let's share the screen. Over there. So this Alan's version of this is far better, by the way. So go and hunt out Alan on Twitter and Facebook and stuff. But I'm sure that little patch there is not on yours, Alan, when I've just looked at it on Facebook. Funny. Yes, sorry, that's me trying to be amusing. Anyways, good evening, Chris. And good evening, Paul. Always good to see you all. Thank you very much for coming along. Oh, happy days. Right, so anyways, yeah, I was nice to be out at the weekend with Alan. Alan, I see that the weather is looking good for, I think, Friday and Saturday. Yeah? Colder, but better. Sunshine by the looks of it, so you never know. We may have to venture out if you are not busy over the weekend. Long weekend this weekend, obviously. Right, what we're doing. Yeah, so basically, Saturday I went out with I think it was Saturday anyway. Went out with Alan on Saturday, down to Buell Bay. I didn't take one ICM image. Not one. Too obsessed with this high resolution camera that I now own, that is the D850. All them pixels, all that detail, all them imperfections it now picks out in my technique. Good stuff, Alan. Yeah, this D850 picks out all the imperfections where I've never really thought about front to back sharpness in images, even like in normal landscape shots that I've done, because when you're photographing with a 12 megapixel camera, it's all pretty mushy anyway. So now I've got to be quite careful where I focus, and do I start thinking about focus stacking to be able to get all that kind of front to back sharpness. So it is quite alien to me. So Saturday was a good challenge out with Mr. Lightly, taking some landscape shots. Right, if I can, might as well show you what they are. I switch to this. So we were up at the crack of dawn, or like before the crack of dawn, because it was still very, very blue. Evening, Peter. Yeah, sleet and snow forecast here as well, Paul. Spring is not finished yet. I mean, spring is not really properly. No, winter hasn't really finished with us yet, it seems. So yeah, we had a bit of a wander along Buell Bay, which is a beautiful area if you don't know it. Very calm, very serene, big wide open beach. And we were the only people for miles around. It was wonderful. So we took a few shots. Obviously I didn't take any ICM images. This morning I was very much just a case of, well, I must admit, when you're there, ICM and Buell Bay don't really mix because it's just one big wide open space. So unless you do purely the left and right technique of movement, you know, you've got to do something else. So normal landscape photography as it was. Yeah, everything takes a lot of disk space with this new camera, Tomic. I'm scared to check mine because I took 150 images, yes, on Sunday, without really thinking about it. and that's probably swallowed a few gig. Actually, some of the processed images are about they're getting on for 2 gigabytes each. Anyway, so hi Stan, good to see you. So that took a few trying to be a landscape photographer, thinking about, you know, crap lying in front of you, foregrounds and all that kind of stuff. Evening, David. Hope you're well. Hope you're feeling better, or feeling a bit stronger anyway. Keep yourself on the upward. Keep yourself get yourself going again. That fine? The camera seems dark. Oh well. So yeah, having to think about foregrounds and all that kind of malarkey. Awful. So that's why my images are crap, because I hate foregrounds and really complicated to think about. So having to think about foregrounds more up in the dunes. The dunes is very tricky to photograph, but it was quite nice. Very, very pale sand in this area. Kind of curving S-bend kind of channel in the background leading out towards the sea. Setting moon in the background. Good to hear, David, just as long as you continue to recover. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with having to expand my my hard drives and such, because that felt like I've only just upgraded my hard drives recently, and that was just to back everything up previously, so not good fun. So yeah, lots of crappy dune images because I struggle in the dunes anyway, but some nice light. I was gonna wait until this dune in the foreground got lit up by this light, but it never did, because it in the wrong, you know, it was in shadow in behind the taller dunes in behind, so it's all a bit crap. So yeah, nice light, not the best positioning, and struggle with subject matter anyway. Yeah, that was me just trying to lighten that one just a little bit, just to make it better. Detail shot of that, because we can do detail with this fancy new camera now. It's a bit sharper, so you can pick, you know, you can nearly pick out all the individual grains of it. It's wonderful. So this one, you know, like really does mop up the hard drive space on an image like this. Yeah, we're looking for terabyte stuff all the time. Look, did this abstract shot of just the rippled sand, which I thought was quite nice. Bit more me. Do a bit, but with a bit of creative color as well. Because yes, I did photograph it when it was still in shadow, kind of bluish, but did add in a bit of blue for a bit more atmosphere, a bit more creativity. Evening, Stephen. Did I say evening before? Or maybe I don't. Anyways, good evening, Johan, as well. Good to see you all here. So that was my little jaunt out on, what day was it? Saturday morning, first thing. Yeah, not a drone shot, Peter. It's been too windy for about a month now to get the drone out. It's really annoying. Blowing a gale for feels like weeks. So yeah, right. So that was Saturday, doing the sharp stuff, and then Sunday, whilst I was taking Mother out for our weekly trip to the coast, did some ICM. So we have some stuff to play with tonight. Although we've probably got some stuff from the other week as well. That I haven't done anything with yet. Let me think. Was that? No, that was the day before, 21st. So yeah, that stuff was crap. No, that's what we did last week, because we made that one last week, didn't we? In the unofficial live stream that we did last week. Where was going to be on late, wasn't it? Oh yeah, sharp stuff. ICM. So we could do that one, or we could do what was 20. 20 was the, yeah, that was the previous day, was it? I don't think it was actually. That was a lot of there wasn't much ICM in that day either. That was just a sunrise. Didn't really happen. So the choices are same location, just different weathers. This one was much more overcast. You might have seen the image that I put out the other day, which was that one, very dark and moody. So there's a bit to play with. Actually, we could play with these ones. Oh, that was the multiple exposure, because I've been starting to play with the multiple exposure module function in the new camera. That's going to take some getting used to. It's all a bit of a struggle. Well, it's not a struggle, it's just you've got to be able to pre-visualize what you want to do. But yeah, these ones kind of appealed to us the other day, so I think we might just have a go with these ones tonight. Maybe even have a go with some others. But yeah. Right, before we get underway, is there anything I need to mention? Just the usual stuff. If you're not already, follow me on the stuff down below. Follow me on all of these. Join the Discord if you have a Discord stuff thing, whatever it's called, and all that. If you are, being really cheeky, I have also started one of them coffee pages as well. The ko-hi-fi.com things. That will be coming up on the scroll thing in a moment. So, I'm just having that for donations. If anybody feels like I'm giving value and you feel like giving a couple of quid. So, Peter, you missed the Patreon chat. That was the other day. That was Friday. There you go. There's the Ko-fi address. Where's it? Just under my finger there. But yeah, the Patreon chat was on Friday, Peter. Did you not get the notice? Should have come through by email and stuff. But we will be doing one hopefully in the middle of April instead of leaving it to the end. But yeah, if you are a Patreon supporter, you get invited to a monthly Zoom chat where we can all catch up and have a good blather. So if you're ever interested in that, it's a good reason to sign up to the Patreon. Right, it's probably enough of flogging my guts. It's all right, Peter. You were missed, mind. You were very, very much missed. But no need to apologise. We are all busy. So, what the heck is? It's basically a donation site, Stephen. The cool YouTubers seem to be using it, or some of them anyway, or kind of using it anyway. So, anyways, let's not just get too distracted about that kind of thing. That's quite cool. One thing I have noticed about the D850, which at some stage I will do a semi-review on, is that it picks up highlights so much better. Look at all this lovely white from the breaking waves on the come here. On the shoreline. With the D700, that would never have picked these up quite as strongly as that. So it's great. You can like really highlight them and pull them out more in the processing, make them more of a feature. So that's a fantastic part of the new camera. One of the few, but it's one of the better things. I thought that was a bit of dust on my screen. So that's one of the good things about it is it's increased dynamic range and it's picking out those highlights, but it's not blowing them out as well. So there's a lot to play with there. So we are going to push the boat out here. What's that one like? It's a bit high and a bit dark. That's a bit low, middle. These are a bit in the wrong place. I just want them so they'll kind of match up reasonably well. Right, let's just edit these four together. And then, yeah, let's make that. Lens corrections. God, I feel like I haven't done this live stream in ages. It's not happening right. The other good thing about the D850, it goes to ISO 64. It means I have a bit more leeway for going darker when it's a bit brighter. If that makes sense. I can keep the shutter open a bit longer when it's brighter. That's what I meant. Honestly, Andy, make some sense. I can't, unfortunately, Paul. They are completely different. Apart from the lithium batteries, that's the only similarity. But no, it's different batteries, so I only have one battery. I did look online. I can get some like knockoff branded equivalents for about 30 quid, because I think otherwise you get the Nikon ones, they're about 60 quid. Far too much for me. So, all right, let's go to Adobe Landscape for a bit more definition. Try auto for the white balance. It's a bit yellow. Daylight. It's very different from the auto. Things the other color balance as shot is probably a lot better on this than like the color technology. It's better than the D700, which you would expect, to be honest. No. So yeah, I think we'll stick to that. Let's go quite contrasty because it's quite a dark kind of day. Open the shadows up a bit so we can get a bit more color in there. Yeah, I've never had a problem with third-party batteries. We don't have. I think the D700, I think I've only got one official Nikon one. The rest were all knockoff ones or Chinese equivalents or whatever they are. And for the M50, I've got one, like the Canon one that came with it, and then two knockoff ones. Never had any problem. The knockoff ones have actually got more capacity. So there you go. Yeah, right. So we're looking to kind of retain some of these highlights because they are nice. Well, Paul, I've just gone for the kind of standard SD, not standard SD ones, but just SD. I haven't gone for the QXF or whatever they are. Types that go in the D850. I've just gone for the SD cards because it's got two slots, one that's an XQX, whatever the hell it is, and an SD card. But I've gone for like not quite the premium fast. I'm just gone. I bought a SanDisk 64 gig card. I think it was 16 quid. Just because I didn't fancy paying 28 for 128 gig, because I'm thinking I haven't got that much space on my hard drive anyway. Well, I'm not one for putting my cards in my pocket. They tend to just exist in the camera or in my little pouch that I have. From Think Tank. Very good pouches, so they're worth. Think Tank want to sponsor me. I do love their gear. I would recommend them to everybody. Go buy Think Tank stuff. I have a Think Tank bag which I've had for years, and my only criticism is that it could do with being able to hold a tripod on it. Right. The other thing about this D850, it's got I'm saying it attracts the dust. It's got quite a bit of dust spotting. Come on. wonder how many frames over. Have I dropped many frames? Not really. That's good, because editing, that was the other thing why we did the test stream last Tuesday, the unofficial one. Just to test out how bad the processing would be for these D850 files whilst streaming. But at the moment, I have only missed 100 frames out of 90,000, so that's not good, not too bad. Let's do that. Add in a bit of texture, clarity. And let's not go too far on that. Let's just scale that back a bit. Computer's still very slow at rendering these things in, so not going to be great change there. Oh. That's a bit awkward, Kazi. It would have been better if it... They're probably... You think they've developed them to the point where they can detect what they are? Right, let's just have a look through it. I've just noticed I can see a seat in the dunes there. So it's retained quite a bit of detail, which isn't great. I must admit it is very, very quick at rendering outlines. I don't like. I would like it if it was a little bit softer. So I do have to work the camera a lot more. I've got to be more conscious about my timings. But I'm sure I'll get used to it. I'm still trying to get used to the sound of it and when the mirror's flipped open and it's whatever. It's annoying. Right, so are we happy with that colour scheme or not? It'll do. All right. Sync these across to these 4. It should be. Let's just have a quick look at them. Don't put them in your pockets, man. Right. Is that the same different pic? Oh, that's a different one, right? Yeah. Some of these are crap, but all of a sudden. Okay, this might not be right. Let's just stick these into Photoshop and be done with it. Edit in Photoshop. Right. Put the kettle on. We'll be a while. Right, let's just switch back to here for the time being. While that loads, because it's taking forever. So how often do you buy like SD cards then? Do you buy small ones and go through them quickly, or what I started doing was, I mean, for all Commodore Flash cards seem to be great and seemingly lasting for an eternity. I would always date mine so I knew which ones were new or newer, and kind of stick with them just in case the longer they go, the less the more chance they've got of failing. Or whether I'm just being strange with that. It seems to be lagging a bit more. Frame rate's dropped as it's loading all this thing. The other thing I've noticed when I've been loading these files up is that it won't actually load all the layers in. It's like if you try to load in 3 layers, it'll load 2 and then kind of freeze. Quite annoying. You know, we'd think that it's all done, but not. Every few months you buy a couple more. I only own 2. One for the M50 and one for the D850. And the trick now is that they're both the same. I need to remember which is which. Oh, we've loaded. Marvellous. Don't try it at home, what Tomic's saying. Screen back to this. So format after every shoot. Oh, and that's a bit excessive. No, that's a good idea, Peter. So, with every job you say, right, I want $50 worth of SD cards, or to put them on. Right, let's go to blend mode, see what we've got. I do apologize now if there's any lag while I do this. There's just the way it's going to be, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, like the compact flash cards that I've had, I've only ever changed them to make so I had like more. I mean, I bought the 32 gig one back. I think it was maybe just last year, but I'd been using like 8 gig ones, just slow things, and I'd had them for years. Yeah, we're actually right on the back. See, I've got written on the back of there, it's 2019. That's the year I bought that one. And this one, I haven't written a year on the back of that one. Well, I knew I had on another one I had. But when you got a 12 megapixel camera, an 8 gig card is pretty much all you need anyway. Right, so what we're going to do? Lighten mode. What was the lighten mode? I thought that was more interesting. Pin lights, weird. All these weird. I am finding I don't know whether it's because there's more texture in these shots or what, but it's not getting such clean results. Everything seems to be working, overlay and soft light of all the ones I've been working with so far. Overlay and soft light have been the two that have kind of worked. Like dark and light might have worked on a couple. Multiply's kind of been, not been any use. You need a lot more action, a lot more images. Oh, the Z6 only has XQD. Well, that's annoying, because they're expensive, or they used to be. Or have they discontinued? Well, they're not using them anymore in the new ones, are they? Good evening, Suzanne. I am very well, thank you. I hope you are too. Stephen, you're never late. We're just on longer, that's all. Right, let's go try lighting. Let's go for a light image tonight. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch these layers off, and then maybe it's not the good one to start with. Right, start with that one. That one in, reposition. Actually, let's go to multiply. See where we are kind of layered to. For crying out loud. Something like that. Lighten that. Ugh. Tricky one tonight. Right, something roughly lined up there. There like that. Let's make that lightened. Let's put this one on the top for the time being. Go multiply. Just just using multiply to get the position and kind of worked out. So you can kind of see. And then we'll select them all and go light and see how that turns out. That's garbage. Unless you're looking for something abstract, of course. Go to multiply. 15 on your desk. Never mind the camera bag, the camera, and, you know, lying around it elsewhere in the wash. Good evening, Simon, sorry. Suzanne, I bet you haven't been. Right, so should we go abstract or not? Is that big? But then that line kind of disrupts it. Right. Quite like to go lighten, but see reach. Not close to out. God, no, we need them out. Right, so those three lighten. This one I am tempted to go multiply but scale it back. Or maybe not. Make your mind up, Andy. Oh, I hate this. You know, this in here is quite nice, but that castle's horrible. If I go halfway, it's just not there. Tricky. Let us go soft light and then scale that around, see if it changes much. Overlay. So this is an example of just trying different blend modes on singular levels. Layers, I should say. Levels. Been playing games far too much recently, Andy. I'm becoming wise in the ways of Fortnite at the moment. With it being the Easter holidays, the nephew's been around, or been trying to get us to play Fortnite, so just yesterday I bought him a headset so we can play online now. So he doesn't need to come around and give me COVID. So that's been quite good fun. Right, so this is looking a bit better. It's retained this light spike here. Got these interesting lines here. Got the curve of the dunes. Interesting smudge here. What I want to try to do is scale back too much detail in the castle here. So I'm going to go into here with a eraser. I'm going to mask that because we always work with masks, so we can work non-destructively. So it can, oh my god, so it can come back. Let's undo that. And we want to go to a soft brush and opacity. We want to reduce the opacity, so we just soften it off. There we go. That's better. Straight away. That's better. That's better. Right. So just trying to get rid of the whole strong shape of the castle, to be honest. Try to retain some of that abstract kind of nature of it. Yeah, that's better. What are you all chatting about? Strange talking about Dettol. Right, so that's a reasonable base to work from. And of course now, because we have a big sensored camera, we don't need to faff around about keeping the canvas size large like I used to, although I could. But for this case, I'm just going to chop it all down to size, crop all that off. Much easier than trying to have to do the blending thing. Right. Really weird over on that side. Anyways. This monitor I'm working on. Right, so we want to go to curves. I'm going to add in a bit of something to hopefully give it a bit of an edge. Get to start going a little bit weird, maybe. We could start turning things red. Always an option. Always an option. Right, so red channel. Way. Only joking. Only joking. Right. Although, wee bit of red there. Isn't too bad. Right, let's just leave that there and go to the blue channel. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that either. Something around about there. Yeah. Must admit, when I was photographing on Sunday, I was like standing on bare rock because the tide was right in. So I didn't have the comfort of knowing that there was only sand below me. And it was a lot more nerve-wracking doing all that when there's just bare rock. I mean, that's even with the wrist strap on. So it was a little bit worrying, must admit. Right, well, that green's very, very green. Oh, yeah, we go. Right, if we bin that level off, start a new curves layer, and we'll just work on the color here, and then kind of just apply it to the bits that we want. Although, ooh, a little bit of red could work wonders. Do that. So does that? No, that didn't. And did it for some reason? Something like that. That's a nice color. Right. Does that affect anything else? Actually, that's fine. It doesn't matter about affecting that out there too much. That's grand. I could almost be fine with this now. I always love red Suzanne. You know that. What I should do is make some kind of donation thing up. So every time I make a red image, £1 goes in the pot or something. That could be interesting. Soon start dropping dropping viewers. Right, so in this area we've got some nice shapes. Abstract view of the vision of the castle. Nice work in here. The other thing I don't like about this D850 is the ISO noise is noisy. Even at ISO 64, it's still noisy. Right, well, they've kind of changed that much. Yeah, I suppose they call it an improvement. But I mean, I struggle with all colours anyway, trying to keep them real. I always think the blues are too blue, you know, too vividly blue. If I mean, going back to the, you know, the dawn images that I showed at the start, having them, you know, the blue once the sky was up, once the sun was up, and there was, you know, it was a blue sky morning, not a cloud anywhere. Anywhere, it was just overly blue. It's just that really strong blue. And I noticed the same when I was doing the edits of other people's images last last year in lockdown number 1, when Aileen sent me some files from a Z6, the blues were horrible. They were like really, really blue. Not, you know, like sky blues, never that bright. Maybe it is in California, but they're never that bright. It's always a much more subtle blue. So I've always got to reduce the saturation for blues right the way down. You know, down to like, you know, at least half, just to get back down to a more realistic blue. Anyways, whittering on about colour science. What should we do? Do we add in a bit more? I'm just worried this is a little bit flat. So maybe a bit of... Somebody said don't use levels anymore because it's crap. I don't know. Becomes all dirty, smudgy stuff in here. I don't know. And then colour start mixing and just becomes grim. Actually, let's just leave it light. Let's just bin that layer off. Yeah. That's a reasonable starting point. Let's stick it in Analog Efex Pro and see what happens. Yeah, black and white is like the cure to a lot of ills. I mean, before ICM came along, I did a lot of black and white. A lot of black and white. You know, pretty much all black and white because I just couldn't sort the colour out. I mean, back in them days, I didn't have a profiled monitor and stuff. But yeah, you make a black and white image, chances are it's going to look black and white when you're finished. It's a lot less complicated. So it's always good to play around like that. There was a pheasant outside. I thought it was my hard drive going mad. Right then, what have the presets got for me today? Because I don't make original work. I just get it so far and then let the presets do everything. That's where the creative choices come from. I mean, look at this. Right, here's an example. Can we zoom to 100%? Here's an example. Look at that ISO noise. My D700 would not do this. It is just so annoying. When I bought the M50 and took it out for the first time, I was disappointed in that because you were photographing blue skies and there was ISO noise all over it. So it must be just a modern camera thing. Look at it. Awful. Absolutely grim. And that was after flattening the ISO noise out. So it's very disappointing. I have a good mind to write a strongly worded letter to Nikon and demand recompense for their shoddy camera. Oh, if only. But yeah, they should really have cured the whole ISO noise by now. I mean, ISO 64 and it's still, you can see every pixel when it's a flat colour. Ridiculous. Anywho. So this looks interesting. In a way. All right, Stephen, we'll catch you later. Well, I dare say you can. I could push this in ordinary settings. I could push this right, you know, really high up in its ISO capabilities, and it would be, you know, you wouldn't see the difference between ISO 100 and ISO 1200. But the fact is that ISO 100 is still noisy. For my own personal way of working, that's what. For normal landscape stuff, then yeah, you haven't, you know, there'll be no issues with it. Just the way I work. Because I'm awkward. Here's me complaining about £2,000, £2.5 camera. Only I could do that. Right, this isn't doing anything fun. Let's go with that one, see what it's like. Hi Jerry, good to see you. I enjoyed the chat on Friday as well. Unfortunately, well, Aileen couldn't make it. She was probably watching the Scotland game on the rugby or something, maybe. Being presumptuous there, of course. And Peter's alarm didn't go off. Shocking. No, it was good. It was a good crack, Jerry. It was always a pleasure to see you. And I trust you got back from Florida safe and well. Without any... this is better. Without any dramas. Hope you enjoyed the beach. Right, I think this could look quite nice. A little bit of a light just kind of cutting across the castle there. Alien, would it be better if it wasn't on a Friday night? I know it just seems to have happened that way recently. And Diane as well, if you're still there watching yourself as well. I know you haven't been able to make any recently. Because we can easily change nights. I mean, really, we've got to change time as well to fit in with others. No, it's all right, Stephanie. We would have loved seeing you if you'd had time. 17 hours to get back home. Yowza. So did you do it just all in the one then, Jerry, or does it like usually take about 12 anyway or something? Still, that's quite a drive. Right, I'm just trying to refine the positioning of this light streak so it looks quite appealing. So that's why I'm going back and forward. And this, like, let's leave that there. This is looking quite nice. Oh, come on. About there. Ish. Let's spin this a little bit. One way than the other. Doesn't help that the computer's really slow. It's kind of, you know, rendering it an inch at a time. Something like right. So mainly Fridays. Aileen, you'll just have to change your plans. I mean, we could do. I don't want to do one on a day when nobody can make it, basically. So, right, I think we have just knocked it, haven't I? 2 pixels further up. Yeah, about there. Right, let's change the balance. Right, maybe somewhere in the middle of that. 43. What was it, 37-ish? maybe it's a bit too far the other way. Let's go for 42. Yeah, quite nice. Well, the other thing, Aileen, I'll try and get the word out quicker, more than like a day before, and that will always hopefully help people to be able to plan. Or, but then again, sometimes too much notice means everybody forgets. Like me, I've forgotten my own Patreon chat in the past. Oh yeah, it's going to be this day, and then completely forgot to send out the stuff, so I can't really talk. Right, let's take that out, see what we've got. Right, okay, that out there. Go contrasting. No, it needs to be back there. Brightness, less detail extraction. Let's go half what it was. Right, okay. Let's knock the saturation up a bit. Get that up a lot. Right, let's go to 15%. Okay. Arms aren't quite that long, Peter. It's always nice to see the. I mean, I always love doing this, but the only way I can like reply back to it is by reading the chat. Nice, just when everybody's talking, and I can't figure it out how to get other people into here, onto live stream. One day I'll figure it out. Figure it out and get a guest on or something. Somebody that I haven't said mean things about in the past. Which narrows the field down, to be honest. We could get Alan on one day, knowing how much he loves publicity and videos and all that. Would never do a podcast, etc., etc. Right. I think someday I'm just going to be out with him and have a recorder in my pocket and just record. See what we get. Then put it out. I'm sure he would love that. Right, I'm just being finicky with positioning this lens vignette now. I think that's all right. Fairly minimal, very one-sided. Don't know if you'd get your money's worth if you printed it. You know what I mean? Right, zoom this. Let's have a look at how. I mean, look at that ISO noise in there. You'd struggle to print that big, like, wouldn't you? Be all right. That size. Oh. Well, yeah, we could do some criticizing, couldn't we, Alan, like we usually do. Certain photographers out there. Ooh, nobody off limits when we meet up. Right, I'm quite happy with that. What's everybody think of this one? You're all probably thinking I'm mad. I quite like that one. I know there's a bit of purple in the sky here, but I think it's nice, and it's almost mimicking some nice light being cast. It's quite good fun. Quite enjoy that. I've quite enjoyed doing this, which is just so different to the old camera. You can see flecks of grass in here as well. Still. Thank you, Aileen. Right. So, film type. This is where we cock it up. Right. Film type. Oh, what time is it, by the way? We've been going an hour. I'll have to wrap up. like green skies. So these are all a bit blue. I think we're going to stick to the warm colour scheme. If we go on that one. Yeah. I mean, the clouds are a bit green, but yeah. Yeah. So, is anybody likely to head back to the office sometime soon, Ozzy? Because here it just seems to be. Well, I was thinking of chopping it back a bit, David. I was thinking about chopping it back. Yeah, well, getting back to the office doesn't seem to be like any priority over here, but doing that kind of stuff. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, not enough red, Jerry. Well, there's time yet. There's time yet. Yeah, I think everybody's enjoying working from home. I read something the other day that what did they say? Employers are going to be come under pressure from the workers to get back to the office. I'm thinking, maybe if you live in a 1-bedroom flat and you have barely any room to work at, but I think everybody else has quite enjoyed working from home because you can, make a cup of tea anytime you want, and you still probably be as productive. Yeah, Peter, well, I hopefully intend to never need to actually go and have a proper job for a start off. But certainly go and work in an office environment just seems crazy. Yeah, and I imagine if you're used to the office life, and I'd imagine if you don't have to commute for 3 hours to get there every day, it's probably quite good because you'll see people that you know and friends and stuff. But I quite like sitting at home by myself, to be honest, because I am such a social animal. I love being by myself. You like me, Paul? Yeah, you like me. It's just like, nope, not doing people anymore. Don't like them. Right, let's see if we can get some red going. Actually, I don't know if it... Don't think it works. I don't think it works, Jerry. Right, if we go back to that starting point, then go to... Yeah. Not feeling it. Like, that's about as much as I can handle. Careful when you're drinking when I'm around. You never know what might come out me mouth. Right, so the one problem with this bloody big camera is that when I save it, it takes about 5 minutes. So I will start saving now. Where's the save button? Right, save. So the days of doing multiple edits all on the one image, I think, are gone. Because this will sit at 20-odd% for God knows how long. So yeah, right, what else is going on in chat? Yeah, Jerry, I think certainly there's potential for some red. I think if I introduced red at an earlier stage, I think it would maybe work well. But I quite like this warmer orangey light that's being cast. So I don't know how you could. I did 2 weddings, Simon, and yeah, there's just too many people at them. It's just really just having to deal with them, and they've been drinking, and they're all happy, and you're stressed, and it's just not fun. Paul, I think you have to. I think you have to nail everything with it. It's there's just a lot of things to go. You know, if you don't get it bang on along, you're all you know, it's going to struggle. So I mean, like, you know, if it doesn't do well for underexposure, then it's going to struggle with me, because I do have a tendency of underexposure or photographing dark. So, and then, you know, pulling the shadows back, then that's going to pull out noise. So yeah, I might have to overexpose, which means we're going to get lighter images. Well, I mean, the image that I put out on social media the other day was blue, so I don't, you know, not every image is red, Jerry. Just a good proportion of them. But yeah, the one the other day was very, very blue, because it was overcast and windy and horrible. So yeah, right. So I'll give that number 3. Create virtual copy. And so, like David said, it's very one-sided. So we can go back to the crop tool and probably do a proper aspect ratio. So 2:3. Copy, shush phone. And then another crop. And we'll try a square crop, obviously, because that should just about. There we go. Square crop. That works, I think. Try one of them squat ones. Create virtual. Where's the. Yeah, that one. It's not a keystroke for create virtual copy, because I use it all the time. Simon, I don't know how you could even contemplate that. A wedding on film. No way. Good evening, Justin. No, not yet. It still lives. How is the gaming world? I did see you went live a little bit earlier. Hoping yeah. Yeah, I think the square works, David. I would like a little bit more space to the left. So we will try 4:3, 4:5 even. Things right. I think I've mentioned this before, but sometimes I like, you know, really one-sided, weird crops, because it makes the viewer uncomfortable, because they're like, oh, there's a lot of space over there, which means they're looking at the picture for longer. You know, if you did a perfect, you know, perfect composition and all that, quite easily somebody would scroll past it or walk past it in a gallery without giving it a second thought. I like to create a little bit of stress and a bit of you know, discomfort for the viewer, so they actually linger on it a little bit longer. I'd imagine motorsports would have been quite good fun though as well, Chris. I mean, stressful because it's your work, like, but could be, Alan, could be. Yeah, everybody needs a castle. I did see that. I don't know where it might have been in Stephanie's ICM photo mag group on Facebook or something, but somebody mentioned, or unless they tabbed me in it or something, maybe it's on Instagram. But somebody had, oh, was it you, Chris? Because it was Disneyland, it was the castle at Disneyland, and I'm sure was it you, Chris? I'm sure it was. All about castles, and he has the castle he had access to in Florida. Yeah, something like that. That kind of works. So square crop, Alan says too much sky. Yeah, I mean that's probably a stronger image straight away. It's great. Me and Alan are like trying to improve each other's work at the minute with suggested edits. There you go, Alan. I think that's a stronger. And Control Plus. Oh, okay. Good thing. Good. All right, that didn't work. I just zoomed. Not to worry. I think I'll be able to create a key press for it anyway. I should do, because I use it all the bloody time. Right, seeing as we've got 3 crops there, I'm going to do a long one to really upset everybody. Oh, David, for his off kilter, off balance one. I'm going to go for like a panoramic, low and long. So that's a 9x5. We could probably even come down to a 2x1. Look at that. Very off balance, that, isn't it? Now that would stress a few folk out, wouldn't it? Oh, apostrophe, sorry. Ah, so control and create a virtual copy. Thank you, David. Right, undo that. I don't need another one of them ones. Control apostrophe, fantastic. That is going to be my new favorite keystroke for Lightroom. Right, so I think we are done at this stage. We've got 5 crops. I think all of them work. So we've got this long 2x1, which I think is nice. A 4x5. Again, like the square crop, that could crop down from the top, so there's less sky. Back there. Square crop, now a bit stronger, everything's a bit bigger in frame. And 2x3. Which, yeah, it just sits in the corner a little bit. So I'm not sure which one is a favorite. Let's go full screen. I think I need to crop off the bottom a little bit. I've gone over a pixel too much. Look at the bloody ISO noise in here. Look at that. Debating how well that would print. And there's a hotspot there as well. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, I think the long one does actually work because it is a wide vista when you're actually there in place. So I think that does actually help when it's in that position. You know, you can get away with all that because just basically when you're there looking from this exact spot, there's only water to the left and a couple of islands in the distance, but there's, you know, all the action's on the right hand side. So I think that works. Anywho. You'll be able to go soon, Justin. You'll be able to cross the border soon. We, Jimmy Cranky, will soon let everybody out. Right, so that will do for tonight. Thank you all very much for watching along. If you're not already, please do follow me on all the old things below. Join Discord if you're interested in Patreon and all that. If you actually, Patreon, I completely forgot. If you want the some of my first edits with the D850, if you want them for free, join my Patreon. You can download and print at your will for your own personal use. They are there for all my Patreon followers. So everybody that's on Patreon that's in the chat at the minute, if you haven't already, get them downloaded. And also there's some free film images that I took the other month as well. You can download them, and of course there'll be the monthly, what's it called? Wallpaper will be out soon in a couple of days' time. So get on over there if you are interested in any of that. Thank you all very much. Anything else? I shall be back next week, obviously. Hopefully me and Alan will be out at the weekend sometime, getting some more shots from probably somewhere else on the Northumberland coast, because that's what we do. And maybe it will be some ICM again. So I must remember to not just take a photograph, normal photography, when I'm with Alan. I need to do ICM as well, because we go to lovely places and I just keep on taking normal images. So I think it would look good on a big canvas as well, Ozzy. I think I might need to flatten out some of that noise though. It's quite annoying. You know. Yeah, I'm a fan of blank space as well, Karen. Like I said, it upsets the viewer a bit because it's a bit off kilter. So yeah. Thank you for your generosity, Peter, for continuing to support me with the Patreon. So if there wasn't anybody on it, there wouldn't be anything in there. So it's because the numbers are rising and people are there and supporting me. That's why I'm putting more and more things in there for you all. So you never know, there might be an exclusive video this month. You never know. We'll see. Or previews of it. When I get my life sorted out and get organised, there'll be more, even more on it. But those of you that don't want to be on, don't want to, commit to Patreon, use the Ko-fi link as well if you want to donate. Don't want to witter on about money all the time though. Well, anyways, thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure, and we will see you hopefully next week. I don't think I'll have an interim video out, like a normal video, until maybe next week. But we'll see. There's a camera to review, so I'll do something like that soon. Right, I will kept you long enough. Thank you again. Please all stay safe, stay healthy, and until the next one, keep it hard. See ya. Right, end.